Hey everyone, Sama Harakli here, and welcome back. If you're passionate about internal auditing and governance, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're diving into a comprehensive, linear masterclass explainer covering the Day 39 ITGC infographic. We're going to break down the foundational world of IT general controls, so let's jump right in.
All right, let's take a look at the complete visual map. Right at the top, it states, IT general controls, or ITGC, are policies and procedures that relate to many applications and support the effective functioning of application controls. Think of it practically, kind of like the foundational concrete of a massive skyscraper. Without that solid, unshakable base layer, it literally doesn't matter how beautiful the offices are up on the 50th floor. The whole structure is at risk of collapsing.
Here's our agenda for today. 1. ITGC definition and core objectives. 2. Categories and key control examples. 3. Change and access management processes. 4. Sample checklist and common risks. And 5. Benefits, takeaways, and final formula. We're going to follow this strict masterclass structure, and I promise you we are covering every single detail of this infographic without skipping a thing.
Moving right along to Section 1, ITGC definition and core objectives. Setting the foundation, let's define our core concepts.
Under Heading 1, ITGC definition, the text reads, IT general controls are high-level controls that ensure the integrity, security, availability, and reliability of IT systems and data. They create a controlled environment to support business processes and application controls. To put this into a real-world perspective, imagine physical security guards and ID badge scanners at the entrance of a building. They aren't constantly watching over your shoulder while you type, right? But they establish a controlled physical environment so that the business happening inside is secure.
Let's look at Heading 2, Objectives. We have 5 main goals here. Ensure confidentiality, integrity, availability. Safeguard IT assets. Ensure reliability of processing, support compliance, and provide stable environment. Now, how practical is this? Well, safeguarding IT assets is literally as straightforward as making sure you lock the server room door to prevent unauthorized physical access. It's simply the physical manifestation of a digital goal.
Now for Section 2, Categories and Key Control Examples, breaking down the components. Let's see exactly how these controls are grouped. So, Heading 3, Categories of ITGC, lists 5 main buckets: program change, access, IT ops, computer ops, and disaster recovery. Below that, Heading 4, Components Covered, outlines 8 key pieces: policies and procedures, organization and governance, security management, system software, hardware, network, database, and physical security. Think of policies and procedures as your strict company rulebook. If the rules aren't written down clearly in the first place, how can anyone know what standards they're supposed to follow?
Under 5, Details of ITGC categories. We break down each bucket exactly. Program change management ensures any changes to systems are properly authorized, tested, and approved. Access management ensures users are authorized appropriately. IT operations management manages resources effectively. Computer operations ensure transactions process correctly. And IT disaster recovery management ensures plans are ready for any disruptions. Practically speaking, for change management, you wouldn't knock down a load-bearing wall in your house without checking the architect's blueprints first, right? It's the exact same logic for changing code.
Let's move to 6, Examples of ITGC. The 9 examples are log changes, provisioned access, RBAC, which is role-based access control, monitored logs, regular backups, scheduled jobs, documented policies, vendor access, and disaster recovery plan. Consider a real-world audit scenario. An internal auditor is checking if a recently terminated employee's system access was actually revoked timely. If that access wasn't pulled, that control just failed, plain and simple.
Heading 7, Key Control Sample, outlines 9 critical points: formal IT policies, segregation of duties, access rights, change management process, audit logs, system backups, antivirus/firewall, physical security, and disaster recovery tests. Let's focus on segregation of duties for a second. It's exactly like needing 2 separate keys, held by 2 completely different people, to open a high-security bank vault. One person alone shouldn't have all the power.
Next up, Section 3, Change and Access Management Processes. Visualizing the workflows. Let's look at these strict step-by-step IT operations. Under 8, Example Change Management Process, we have 6 exact steps: change request, impact analysis,
test environment, approval, implementation and production, review and closure. Imagine a company safely pushing a critical update to its payroll software. Someone initiates the request, they run an impact analysis, test it safely, get management approval, push it to production, and finally, do a review and closure to make sure nobody's paycheck got messed up.
And the audit focus for this section is clear. Verify that all changes are authorized, tested, documented, and implemented through a controlled process. Now, why would an internal auditor specifically hunt down the testing documentation during a real-world audit? Because, frankly, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. And a single untested, undocumented change can literally crash an entire company's network.
Moving to 9. Example, user access management process. We see 5 steps: access request, manager approval, provision access, role-based, periodic review of access, revoke access if required. Think about a new hire joining the marketing team. They request software tools, their manager approves it, IT provisions the access based strictly on their marketing role, there's a periodic review later, and if they ever leave, that access is revoked instantly.
The audit focus here says, verify that access is granted based on role, reviewed periodically, and removed when no longer needed. Those periodic reviews are absolutely crucial. If they aren't strictly enforced, you run into a severe real-world security risk known as access creep. That's when an employee changes roles a few times over 5 years and suddenly has backdoor access to HR, finance, and IT systems. No way should that happen.
Let's hit Section 4, Sample Checklist and Common Risks. What to do and what goes wrong. We're going to contrast the ideal audit checklist with the grim reality of IT risks.
Looking at 10, sample checklist, we have 10 boxes to check. Documented policies, user access reviews, strong passwords, segregation of duties, change management procedures, regular backups, disaster recovery plan, physical security, monitored logs, and compliance with standards. Here's a quick pro tip from an auditor. When verifying that security patches are applied, you don't just ask the IT manager and take their word for it. The practical method is pulling a sample of servers and verifying the actual patch installation logs yourself. Trust, but verify.
Under 11. Common risks. We see 10 exact failure points: unauthorized access, data loss or corruption, system downtime, unpatched vulnerabilities, insider threats, malware or ransomware, weak passwords, lack of backups, poor physical security, and non-compliance with IT policies. Let me highlight unpatched vulnerabilities for a second. This is exactly how massive ransomware attacks easily slip into a corporate network. One overlooked patch and your whole system is locked up. Finally, Section 5, Benefits, Takeaways, and Final Formula. Let's step back and look at the big picture of why this all matters. Heading 12, Benefits of Effective ITGC, gives us 8 clear wins: ensuring confidentiality, maintaining data integrity, ensuring availability, compliance with laws, reducing fraud risk, safeguarding assets, operational efficiency, and building stakeholder trust. It really builds trust in the exact same way a 5-star crash safety rating does for a car. You feel secure because you know the underlying systems are rigorously designed to protect you.
Under 13, key takeaway, the infographic leaves us with this exact quote: IT general controls provide the foundation for a secure and reliable IT environment. Strong ITGC reduce risk, support business objectives, and ensure that application controls can operate effectively. That is the core message of this entire masterclass.
Let's wrap up with heading 14. Remember, it gives us a clear mathematical formula: strong policies and procedures, plus appropriate access, plus effective operations, plus reliable data and backups, plus disaster recovery preparedness equals a secure, reliable, and efficient IT environment. And remember this verbatim: strong ITGC today ensure accurate information and better decisions tomorrow. So, before you go, I want to ask you something. Think about your own organization right now. Is your ITGC formula perfectly balanced, or are there broken variables quietly putting your entire environment at risk? Think about it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.